Hi everyone, it's Lindy on from Pink Whisper Designs. Today we're going to create some elegant party favor boxes. These could be used for a wedding or a shower or an anniversary. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box die set. This is from Art Impressions and this is a fairly new die set. This is called the Mini Journal Box Dies, and you can see these little pieces here will create some decorative borders for the side of your box. There's a little label die there. There's a couple different ones. There's a bee, a little vine, a butterfly, a little hummingbird, and that paintbrush. And then this one here can create a little pocket with that heart shape in the center. So you've got a lot of little dies in this collection. Let's go ahead and grab some Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock. This is a 100-pound weight. We're going to run that through the Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting machine. You can see that it scores all of the lines for us. So let's go ahead and score these or fold these and press that down with the bone folder. And you do want to make sure you use your bone folder, get a nice crease on all of these score lines. So I'm going to continue folding. Now I've got the little tabs. There's 4 little tabs, and that's the only place we're going to need to put adhesive. So this is really easy to assemble. So let's do that last couple of folds. And again, I've got a nice heavyweight cardstock. So I've got some 1/8 inch double-sided tape, and I'm going to place it on those 4 tabs. And you do want a nice strong adhesive here just to make sure your box holds together nicely, especially if you're putting some weight in there. I'm going to be putting some candies in there, so I want this to be nice and strong. I've got my bone folder. I'm just pressing the backing down a little bit. Now let's go ahead and fold that second box. Once that was done, we can use the Cricut weeding tool, and I'm just going to pull that backing off. This just makes it really easy to remove that backing, especially when you have these little tiny pieces of tape. So now we can go ahead and assemble this, and you can see all I have to do is fold up the sides and attach that little tab. I'm going to do that for all 4 corners. And then what I like to do is reach inside with the bone folder and press those into place just to make sure that everything is nice and secure. So that's all I'm doing there. I'm just pressing those little tabs down a little bit better. And there's our completed box. So you can see really how simple this is. Let's do the same thing for this second one. And then to make this box a little bit stronger, we're going to be putting a little liner on the inside of the box, and we're going to do some stenciling and give this a really elegant look even on the inside, so when you open it up it'll be really pretty. Now you could use some patterned paper on the inside of your box as well, whatever you prefer. So we've got the 2 boxes. Now this will be the liner for the inside of the box. So I'm just showing you that I cut it down slightly. It's 2.5 inches by 2 inches, and that will fit right inside the bottom of our boxes, and that'll leave a little white border around the edges. So I've got my Wendy Vecchi Make Art station. This is just a magnetic station. I'm placing a little bit of that Tombow mono adhesive on the back just to hold these in place. And now I've got a couple of stencil choices here. But first I should mention that this paper is also the Strathmore Bristol Smooth 100-pound cardstock. So I had a couple of stencils. I was trying to decide which one I wanted to use. This one is the Hero Arts Ornate Flourish, and this one is called the Leaf and Floral stencil. Both of these are from Hero Arts. I did decide to go with this one, but I will list and link both of these down below for you, as well as all of the products I'm using today. And they'll be also listed and linked on my blog as well. So I'm just moving this around, trying to decide where exactly is the best placement for this. And I'll be able to stencil both of these panels at the same time. So if you're making more boxes, you could probably do 3 or 4 of these at the same time. I've got the gold paste from Hero Arts. This is a really pretty stencil paste. And then I've got my Nuvo spatula. This is kind of flexible on the end, which makes it really easy to apply this paste. And look how beautiful this gold paste is. And it's going to have a beautiful shimmer to it when we're done. So I'm going to just take little small amounts of the paste and just start applying that. And I want to get a nice even coating of it. I'm trying to scrape off any excess. I don't want it to be too thick because again, this will be sitting at the bottom of our box and we will have something inside the box. I'm going to have some little heart-shaped chocolates in here, but you could certainly put money in here for a gift or just a little note or one of the journals. This box is designed to fit your mini journals, and that's a whole collection from Art Impressions. So that will also fit inside your box. Let's just clean off the spatula, and I like to take the stencil and the spatula to the sink and rinse everything off. Now here, look how beautiful this little background is. So I'm going to just lift those up, and let me give you a closer look at this, and you can see the beautiful shimmer that you get from this stencil paste. And look how beautiful that is. So let's set those aside to dry. I'll clean everything up. And then we're going to grab one of these little borders. As I said earlier, there's 2 of these, and they're meant to decorate the side of your box. We're going to use some gold paper to do this. This one I selected is like a lattice work pattern, and we'll use the Kraft-stock from Holtz in the metallics. So let's run those through the Sizzix Sidekick machine, and we'll need 4 of these. We'll need 2 for each of our boxes. So I'm just going to pop those out. Again, I'm using that Cricut weaving tool, and we'll pop out all those little pieces, and you can see how pretty this little border will be. So let me go ahead and die cut the rest of those. We'll set those aside. Now I've got the Art Impressions Slim Journal Template die set, and this makes a little small journal, but it also includes this decorative heart clasp, which is just so beautiful. So this is meant to hold your journal closed, but we're going to use it on our box today. I've got my steel die cutters. These are also something that Art Impressions carries, and I really love these. They work really well, so I'm going to separate these dies. And we'll grab these 2 that will create that interlocking heart clasp. So I'm going back to that metallic gold cardstock, and let's run these through. So this time, rather than using that Cricut weaving tool to pop out all of those little pieces, I decided to grab my Spellbinders tool in one. And that little bristled end of this tool will allow me to press out all of those little pieces really quickly. So I'm going to switch over to that tool, and you just have to rub it along the top of the cardstock and it'll pop out all those little pieces. So I went ahead and did that for both of these, and now you can see there's a little slit on the bottom of one of the hearts and on the top of the other one. And what we're going to do is slide those 2 pieces together and interlock them. And then I'm just going to glue it shut. Now normally you would use that as your clasp to open and close your journal or whatever it is that you wanted to use this on. It is already scored. It has score marks on there to fold it around your journal. So it's sized perfectly for your journals. But what I'm going to do is line it up nice and straight on that grid, and then I'm going to glue the heart down. So ours won't move and it won't come undone, and I'm just going to set that aside to dry. So let's do the same thing. I'm applying a little bit of glue behind the heart on each side, and we'll line that up with this grid line, and we'll glue that together. Once that's done, we're going to attach that to the front of the box. So I'm just going to line this up and center it, and we're going to put glue just where it will be attached to that box cover. I'm just putting little tiny dots of glue around. You do want to be careful when you're using the metallic cardstock. You don't want to get glue on the metallic. It is a little bit harder to get off. But if you do get a little bit on there, what I do is I just dampen a paper towel just very slightly, and I just rub off any of that excess glue. But your best bet is to apply as little as possible, and just make sure that you press it out with your fingers if you have too much excess. So let's cut away those extra pieces. And at this point, I wasn't too worried about the side of the box going around from right to left. But afterwards, I decided to use those leftover pieces. So don't throw those away. We're going to be using those to finish off the box, and you'll see what a difference it makes. So again, I'm just gluing that down. We'll cut away that excess. And then what we want to do next is just curl up those hearts a little bit. And because this paper is this thick metallic, we can just kind of sculpt it a little bit. It's really easy just to use your fingers and bend that up, just to give this a little bit more dimension. You can see that makes a nice difference. It gives it a lot more interest. Now let's attach these lattice work borders on the front and the back. And again, just little tiny dots of glue. Just kind of pat off any excess with your finger. You could even pat that onto a dry piece of paper and then put it on your box just to get rid of any excess glue. So I'm going to make sure those are secured nicely on the front and the back of each of these boxes. So I went ahead and did that off camera. You can see what a difference that makes. Here's where we're going to add that pretty textured panel on the inside of each of our boxes. And this is just going to make these so elegant and so beautiful. So when you open up the box, no matter what you're putting in there, you could even put a really pretty pair of earrings in here for Mother's Day. Whatever you want to do, but this is just so pretty, and it really finishes these off. I'm going to pop that inside, just making sure that's glued down nicely. And then for this next one, I'll glue that in place, and then to press it down, it is a little bit curled. The cardstock is a little curled because of the fact that we added all that texture paste. What I wanted to do is make sure this was nice and flat in the bottom of the box. I'm going to grab one of my little acrylic stamping blocks. I'm going to place it inside the box so that I can press down those corners nicely. I'm just using that to press this down nice and flat. And I did that for all 4 corners. So now that those are all set, here's where I went back to these leftover pieces, and I decided I thought I could make it look like it continued around the side of the box. So I'm just going to cut away a little bit of excess. I'm going to apply the glue, and I really like how that bottom of this lattice is rounded off and finished off. And then we'll line that bottom rounded edge right along the bottom of the box. Make sure it's lined up straight with the front lattice work. So there I'm just checking to make sure it's lined up nice and straight. And we'll glue that in place, and we'll cut away that excess. And you'll see when the box is closed now, it'll look like it continues all the way around, which I really love how that looks. So this is a great way to use up these excess little pieces. Let's go ahead and pop this one in place. Again, just lining that up nice and straight. And you can use the table to make sure that's nice and straight across the bottom. And then again, I'll just trim that off. So I did that for the other box as well. And you can see that really finishes these off. I've got some really pretty little hearts. These are from Dress My Craft. And these are the white heart droplets. And I'm going to grab 2 of these, one for the center of each of these hearts. Now I was thinking if you were doing a wedding, you might want to pick the color that matches the colors in the wedding. So if the girls are wearing pink gowns, you could have pink or blue, whatever color kind of coordinates with your wedding the best. But I thought the white just kind of kept these elegant and really simple. I'm just adding that little white heart droplet right in the center of each of these. And then for a little bit of sparkle, I thought it needed a little bit more sparkle. I'm going to take the Pinkfresh Studio Gems. These are the clear gems with gold dust. So there's like a dusting of gold in the center of each of these gems, so they're really sparkly and really pretty. And there's a few different sizes, so I'm just going to grab a few different sizes. I'll put 3 down here on the lower left hand side, and then I'll put a couple up on the top as well. I'm just using my Marvy jewel picker to pick those up and drop those in place. And again, this is another place you could add some color if you wanted to with some sequins, whatever you want to do. So I did the same thing for that second box. Let's take a closer look at these. These were really easy and fun to do. If you have to make a lot of party favors, this would be a fun, easy project. And I love the inside of the box. Again, you could add some pattern paper on the inside of the box if you prefer. I just thought that paste was just absolutely gorgeous. And again, I'm going to add a few little chocolates to each of these, and that'll finish these off. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a single video. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.